Welcome back to Close Up. We learned this week that Saint-Gobain Performance Plastics will close its Merrimack plant after years of controversy. That facility first made news several years ago with the discovery of so-called forever chemicals that have been found in nearby drinking water. So the question today is, what does the closure mean for the plant's agreement when it comes to the cleanup and remediation? We're joined now by New Hampshire's Department of Environmental Services Commissioner Robert Scott. Commissioner, thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, so we heard the news this week. At some point in 2024, when Saint-Gobain finishes all its current contracts, it will shutter that facility. But there is this long-standing agreement now in place when it comes to the remediation, the filtration systems, and providing bottled water in some cases for a lot of residents in several nearby surrounding towns. What does this closure mean for that agreement?
Effectively, it doesn't change that at all. So we have a legal agreement with the state of New Hampshire with Saint-Gobain Performance Plastics. It covers a 64 square mile area around the plant, which is unprecedented, by the way, and they're obligated for those contaminated areas to in the short term, provide bottled water, in the longer term to either treatment at your home or connection to a water line. So it should change nothing. As a state regulator, I'm here to make sure that happens. I will say on their behalf, when they told us about the closure, they've been very upfront saying they'll still continue this work. My staff meets with them every other week, and that's still happening, and they're still saying all the right things.
Now, did the state have any indication that this was coming down the pipeline from the company?
No, we didn't. We found out the same morning. I think everybody else did.
But you're still confident that this agreement will hold, and that moving into the future, the folks who live in that region will still be getting the services that they were promised based on that agreement?
Correct, I do.
Okay. And as we look at this issue, it's not really just Saint-Gobain, but now the state has really been testing a lot more when it comes to PFAS and other contaminants in water. And the more research, it seems, the more we're finding.
Very true. So we've leaned ahead, probably because of the experience with Saint-Gobain, to find out where else this is in the state. So I think, looking at the numbers, I think New Hampshire, we've tested over 15,000 individual wells, some of them public, some of them private wells, which, to be blunt, is I think more than the rest of the country combined.
Wow.
So we've really leaned ahead to find out where this problem is, so we can address it.
And now, we're testing because we're looking for what exactly? Obviously, we hear about these different acronyms: PFAS, PFOAs. You know, the other shorthand is forever chemicals. But what exactly are they, and why are we so concerned about them?
Sure. So the PFAS generically is a term for a family of almost 4,000 different compounds. They've been used in manufacturing for decades now. So really, if you think of anything that repels water, you know, maybe your clothes or that type of thing, or raincoat, or repels grease, like maybe your pizza box or something like that, over the years that has had PFAS as one of the constituents of PFAS likely in it. What we found with the march of time and science is that that has health impacts to folks. So with that information, New Hampshire, going back a few years now, has set drinking water standards for PFAS, which we feel are protective. That's only for 4 of the 4,000, if you will. So there's this frustration, I'm sure, with the public of, what about all these other ones? And there's just not enough data quite yet to get there. So the ones we had the information for, we went ahead and moved for standards. EPA is looking at doing the same thing right now.
Yeah, I know I've seen a little bit about more funding coming from the federal government inside the bipartisan infrastructure law. There's $2 billion in it to address contaminants like PFAS in drinking water. Is New Hampshire getting some of that, and what are we doing with it? Absolutely.
So we have a lot of pots of money, thankfully. The state government, the legislature, going back, I forget my time frames here, at least 3 years now, set up allowed us to bond for up to $50 million for loans for PFAS, and then they've augmented that with another $25 million for grants in loans. We have a substantial amount of money from the infrastructure bill that you're referring to for, it's called emerging contaminants, so it's not necessarily has to be applied to PFAS, but PFAS certainly qualifies. So we're looking very actively at using those funds. The good news is, with the infrastructure bill, with the legislatures in New Hampshire and the governor seeing this as an issue, it's put it this way, I've been in state service for 26 years now. Usually we have a problem and no funds. The good news is we have some funding available. The bad news is the amount of money this is going to take to fix outstrips the amount of money still available.
Because it's just going to be such a large scope once we finally see the true extent of it, I assume.
Correct.
For folks at home, especially if they have private wells, is this something they should be testing for at this point, or is that a data point that doesn't necessarily help yet?
No, it absolutely does help. So in fact, in some cases, if we have areas that we're concerned about, we'll actually do the testing for you.
Okay.
Not every place, but certainly if you are concerned about your water, absolutely have it tested. We have a rebate program in the state, so if your well water has been contaminated, we will provide you for a rebate of up to $5,000 to get a point of entry system, it's called, or home treatment available. You'll get $5,000 towards that, or because we prefer that you actually connect to a water system, you can get up to $10,000 rebate to have that happen. So that's another good reason to have your water tested, so you can make those resources available to you.
And how do folks find out if they're living in one of these areas of concern?
Well, we send out notices. So if we test, if you're within a certain radius and we see that's an issue, we'll actually try to notify you directly.
Okay.
But again, don't wait for us. If you have a concern, go ahead and test. We may be able to reimburse you for the test, but we'll definitely be able to, again, get you a rebate. That program is ongoing, and we're committed to doing that.
All right, Commissioner, I know you've described this as the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, with all this. We really appreciate being here and discussing the next steps. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.